I'd like to welcome Mickey on stage from Oriient. He is actually giving us a little bit of insights into GPS in shops, so GPS indoor. So looking forward to get inspired. Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you very much. My name is Mickey Balter. I'm CEO and co-founder at Oriient. So we take location for granted. Where, can you switch the screens, please, here? We take location for granted. So when I landed in Zurich 2 days ago, I immediately reached my phone, opened up Google Maps, and could find directions to my hotel. We have a very hard time imagining our world without GPS, without location, but these things do happen. GPS sometimes fails. And if we try to imagine our world without the GPS, we realize that it's baked into so many of our experiences of the way we interact with the phone and with technology. So a world without GPS is a world without Google Maps, without Waze. You can drive. FedEx can't really run their business because they don't know where their trucks are. Uber doesn't work. So all of these technologies really rely on location to function, and we rely on them to run our digital lives. So that's all fine, and GPS doesn't fail often, but we live in a world where GPS doesn't really work 90% of the time when we are indoors. So whenever we are in an airport, we take for granted that we don't have GPS and that we can't really find directions, and we're back to using paper maps like we did 30, 40 years ago. And every time we go to a retail store, which for me is the most complex environment to navigate, we also take it for granted that we don't have access to GPS and we don't really have access to location. So I'm here to show you and talk about why location matters and why it's imperative to add location to indoor spaces and especially retail. So first and foremost, location means shopper convenience, and that's very important. If we want people to visit our stores, we need to give them a very convenient, very slick experience. So whenever we go online, we take for granted, we immediately look to the top of the page and look for the search bar. No one will launch an e-commerce website without first offering a search bar so that people can find items easily. But somehow, we expect people to be able to memorize the location of 50,000 items in a store and to just roam the aisles endlessly until they can find that one item. And we've all been there. I'm sure that everyone here gave up on buying something while they were in the store just because they couldn't find it in time. And we ran a lot of research into this, and we actually found that the numbers are staggering. So 1 person in 3 leaves the store without buying at least one item on their weekly supermarket run in a store they've been to before countless times, and this is a real loss for retailers. So people are actually buying less just because they can't find items easily enough. In a world with location, you can add that search bar in the physical world. You can actually integrate a search functionality into your existing mobile app, into the existing retailer app, and have people navigate in the store. So they can just type an item or input their entire shopping list and navigate through the store very easily to connect with the items they are looking for. And when I talk about this concept, I sometimes get hit with the question that the retailer actually wants the customer to be lost in the store. They want them to spend more time. They want them to or they expect them to roam the aisles endlessly. And this is a paradigm that needs to be rethought. Because one question, there are a few important questions, I think a lot of misconceptions, that I think is a very old school thinking that was okay for retail 10 years ago, but the world has kind of changed since. So first of all, are shoppers really spending more time in the store? So when I go in with a list of 30 items, I expect to be out of the store in, let's say, 45 minutes to an hour. I won't spend time more just because I'm missing just one last item on my list. I won't spend endless time in the store. And you see that. You see that people have a slotted time for how much time they want to spend on their weekly supermarket run. and when they finish that time, they just leave. And sometimes they don't buy everything they came for. And research we've done and research we've seen with a large CPG brand actually shows that retailer revenue actually goes down, sometimes significantly, every time there is a store layout configuration. If people were willing to spend endless time in the store to find the items, that shouldn't have happened. Many customers are now opting for online. And when you ask them why, they say, we don't like to queue up, that's one thing. And they don't like the in-store experience. They don't like to endlessly roam aisles where it's very difficult to find that one item, even in stores that they are well familiar with. And the last thing is, when people can't find item, it puts a lot of mental load on them and they are stressed. And as retailers, we should ask ourselves whether you want stressed customers in your store, or do you want more relaxed shoppers that are in a shopping mood and actually cognizant of the store layout and the store assortment, rather than being very much focused on where do I find that item that's on my list and I can't go back home without it. So by implementing the searchable store, by adding location and find and search functionality to your app, you actually increase app adoption. Product search and navigation is actually one of the top items that customers like to see in a retailer app, and one that gets them to download the app. You can implement your omni-channel strategy by really merging the activity in the store with the online activity, and vice versa. You get a lot more shopper insights through search, just by understanding what people are searching for in the store, how many people are actually going to the product, and how many people are actually buying it. So that funnel suddenly becomes visible, and you can understand a lot about the assortment, about what people are expecting to find in the store, and what people are not finding easily in the store. It leads to larger basket size, because people find more by getting the customer in front of the product to actually get them to buy more. It reduces the mental load. You get customers that enjoy the store rather than being hyper-focused on finding that next item. And it leads to regular app usage, because like Google Maps, once you use it regularly. So once people are used to using the app in the store, they use it every time because they actually find it helpful. So that's one aspect. The second aspect is actually contextual marketing. So again, taking the Amazon example, everything you see on this page is hyper-personalized. It's personalized according to what I've done before, what I bought, what I searched, even what time of day it is. And that's how we've grown used to thinking about marketing. It has to be very personalized, very contextual. But in the store, the state of the art is basically putting up signs on the shelf, signs that we expect everyone to see, but that no one really sees because of ad blindness, because of this bombardment of messages that are not personalized to me, so they're not relevant, so I stop seeing them. Whereas with location, and again, using the mobile phone, you can hyper-personalize the message to the customer, to the particular customer, according to their location, and the call to action is very immediate because the product that you're trying to promote is actually right next to them. So again, many people say, aren't digital coupons enough? I mean, I'm sending coupons by email. Isn't that enough? But not really, because again, it relates to old paradigms, and many retailers don't think that this contextual marketing is possible because of a lot of misconceptions. So the first one is that people aren't actually using the app. And the reason they're not using the app is that the app doesn't add convenience. But go back to the search that I talked about and this habitual usage of the app that it promotes, and suddenly you have a very contextual ad surface in front of the customer throughout their shopping journey that you can then monetize. App blindness, a lot of research has shown that it's real. People are not seeing the ads in the store. They just walk by them and never really think about them. Many retailers think that, or many CPGs think that promotions are kind of a waste because they cater to everyone. So when I offer 20% off on an item, I have to offer it to everyone. And some of these people would have bought the item anyhow. So this becomes a trade-off that's preventing some CPGs and some retailers from offering these promotions and really catering to new audiences. Many find the lack of ability for product differentiation to be a problem, for shopper differentiation to be a problem. Many think that location-based advertising is not possible because there is no suitable technology, but I'll touch on that. And the call to action for coupons, it's actually quite complex. You expect a person to remember a coupon that they received at home by email, and for that coupon to pop up into their mind when they're walking past the product in the store and actually go to the shelf and pick it up. That doesn't always happen, again, because of the distance and the time between the time when I'm exposed to the coupon and when I'm actually in front of the product. So all of this leads to the fact that performance marketing is really limited to online and is not something that you can do in store in an effective way. But actually all of that changes with the introduction of location. So if you now know the location of the consumer, of the shopper, each and every second while they're in the store, everything becomes available. So first, the bottom line is that when you offer digital coupons that are hyper-targeted and localized, they are 4 times more likely to be redeemed and 4 times more likely to be effective. It enables hyper-personalization because you can show the coupon just to the right person at the right moment, at the right place, and show it only to that person. So now you can start measuring performance. You can start measuring whether that coupon was actually effective, whether that resulted in a sale. You can start experimenting in the physical world. Where do I show the coupon? Do I show it in the beginning of the aisle, at the end of the aisle? Do I show it next to a complementary product? All of that paradigms from online marketing suddenly become relevant in the physical store. The call to action is much simpler. You're basically communicating with the customer at the shelf, at the moment of purchase, when the product is within sight and within a hand's reach. And it enables omni-channel strategies. So you can take a product that the customer has researched online, take that knowledge about them, and then target them in the store when they walk past that product, that particular product, and vice versa. You can take a product where the customer lingered in front of for a long time in the store, which didn't end in a purchase, and then continue targeting them online for that particular product. So by offering location, you can basically close the gap and the conceptual gap between what you perceive that you can do online, which we all take for granted, and what you think you can do in the physical world, where a lot of the online components now become relevant and accessible. So lastly, I want to talk about data. So location basically means data. So again, online, data-rich environment. When I go online into an e-commerce website, every mouse click, every mouse movement, and the speed at which I'm scrolling is measured, analyzed, collected somewhere, and then it feeds a huge machine learning machine that hyper-personalizes, analyzes, and improves the retailer's performance in e-commerce. But in the physical world, we're back to using tactics from 10 years ago, from 20 years ago, of hiring students to observe the shoppers and record what they're doing. You can use very expensive solutions, such as cameras, to try and capture the traffic flow, but that has its limitation, and it's usually expensive. And we all heard about Amazon Go and how that model really didn't work. By, again, offering location, getting people to use the mobile app, you basically get a very deep view into the actions and activities of each shopper each and every second, and you can really understand where they spend their time, where they're walking, where they're not walking, and there is a lot of hidden data gems in this system. So again, to break some misconception, POS data is not enough. Today, when a shopper goes into the store, you know how many people went in, you know how many people walked out, you know what they bought. Everything they did in the middle is pretty much transparent. Is the store layout optimal? Are people seeing the promotions you want them to see? Are people actually walking where you want them to walk? You don't know that. And because of that, you can't really do A/B testing. You basically do something, change something in the store, change the layout, change the assortment, change the product placement, but you don't know if it really works because you don't have a direct way to measure. You can implement a change and wait to see the results in the point of sale data, but you can't really know how many people have really seen that change, how many people have really seen that display. Many retailers think that they have perfect planograms, or many retailers know that they don't have perfect planograms, but they don't know how to fix that. So I was very surprised to see that many retailers invest a lot of money and effort into building planograms using machine learning, using artificial intelligence, but then it doesn't get implemented in the store, and there is no way to monitor that. Camera data is far from being enough. It only shows a snapshot of a single view of what that camera sees, and it's usually expensive. It doesn't really give you the view of the entire shopper journey and how the customer is actually moving through the store. And in general, in-store data collection today is very expensive because it has to be manual or based on very complicated technology and machine vision. But when you offer location, when you offer a convenient mobile app for the people to use, and you offer location in that app, then this data becomes basically a side product, and a very valuable side product for that. So this allows you to really A/B test in the store, to change something and immediately see, does it attract more people? Do more people stop and linger? Do more people change their walking pace as they walk past that display? You can use it to optimize the layout, to really understand if there are bottlenecks or areas in the store where people don't walk, and then you can start analyzing why they don't go there. You can build reallograms and really understanding dynamically where the products are on a day-to-day basis. You get a lot of insight on the non-buyer behavior, the parts of the operation that don't get reflected in the point of sale. You can understand how many people stand in a particular location in front of the product but end up not buying that product, and there is a lot of valuable data there, maybe even more valuable than the point of sale data and how many people actually buy something. And you basically take all of that information and you can then feed it into AI models which rely on data. They can't work without data to really start optimizing retail operations, from merchandising to picking to shelf planning. So I've talked about 3 topics, and it should be obvious the location is valuable. So why aren't more people implementing location and indoor GPS in their stores? So basically, there are 3 problems. First, the usual GPS, the regular GPS that we use outside, that's free, that's paid for by the US government, doesn't work indoors. As soon as you cross the door, it stops working. You can use beacons to implement indoor GPS, but that's usually expensive. It involves deploying hundreds, sometimes even thousands of small hardware devices in the store, and then maintaining them and monitoring them and managing them. That's expensive and non-scalable. And you can try using Wi-Fi, which many of you have in the store, but with most retailers, they don't even have good internet coverage in the store. So that Wi-Fi is very insufficient to serve as a platform for location, and you end up with very inaccurate indoor GPS service that you can't really implement any meaningful use case with. So to solve all that, Oriient has come up with a different technology paradigm for implementing indoor GPS. Our solution involves absolutely no hardware, so no beacons, no Wi-Fi whatsoever. It's a software-only solution. It's very accurate. It's accurate to within 1 meter, which is about 5 times better than what you get with very expensive beacon deployments, and about 20 times better than what you get with Wi-Fi. And because it's software, we offer it in a SaaS model with no upfront investment and just OpEx. And we were able to do that by leveraging something that you all have in your stores already, which is Earth's magnetic field. We didn't put it there. It was always there. coupled with the sensors in the smartphone. So if you ever wondered why your iPhone or Android needs a compass, it's for running our technology. We combine Earth's magnetic field with the phone sensors to give the phone a sense of location with 3 feet accuracy to be able to implement all of this indoor GPS and all the ways in which location really matters. The product itself is an SDK that gets integrated into existing retailer app. And basically, once you have that SDK in there and your store active with the Oriient service, you get access to all of that capabilities of data, contextual marketing, and offering better shopper convenience. So that's us. We're based out of Tel Aviv. We're 35 people. Our service is actually available through Google Cloud. You can buy it on the Google Marketplace. We work with retailers all over the world. One of our largest customers is Albertsons in the US. And we actually have deployed a demo of indoor GPS here in the venue space. So during the break or after the event, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to give you a test drive of how it feels like in real life. Thank you.